Okay, hello. This is a second video. We're going to draw our steps for our step ladder this time. So we're going to zoom in. Let's just have a look first. Actually, this is the back of our step ladder out here. This is the front. So our steps overhang the front. We're actually going to turn off our second leg, hide it. So number 2, click the little eyeball to hide it, and we're going to start a sketch. This sketch starts inside that housing joint, at the back of that housing joint. So click, press N on the keyboard so we view it front on. Remember, this is the front of our step, this is the back of our step. We're going to use the line tool, and we start our line on this back edge at the point. So you've got to make sure you get that little point icon. Click once to start, then come out the front past and make sure it's horizontal, so you get the little horizontal icon. The next line needs to be vertical and aligned with this edge here. So notice you get that little orange indication there that we're lined up. So you'll either get a vertical icon or a perpendicular icon. I've got the perpendicular. Click, and then this line goes right to the back here to that point. Click, bring this down to our starting point. Make sure you get the point icon every time and click. That sketch is finished, so we can turn that off. Actually, it's not. I'm going to double click to reopen that sketch. I forgot to set our size, so we need the dimension tool. The step is 90 millimeters long from this front edge, so click once on that edge and up to the point, the top point, and we'll change that to 90. Now we can complete that sketch by ticking. I'm going to zoom back. I'm going to go back to a 3-dimensional view, and I'm going to unhide that front leg by clicking the eyeball. We need to extrude, so we're going to extrude that new shape we draw, and unfortunately you've got to click on 2 parts that make up that shape. It's set up blind at the moment, but we're going to change that so it says up to face, and the face we want that step to reach to is its opposite housing joint. So we click that, the step extrudes across. Have a look at it, make sure it looks right. Our dialog here should be set to new. If it's not, click on it and tick. We've got a radius cutout to do in the front of these steps. So this is actually way trickier to do in the classroom than it is to do an Onshape. So we start a new sketch. This time we click on this surface of the top of the step, and we're going to start with the line tool. We only need to draw a little line that goes across the top edge of this housing joint. So it's a little short line, so click from point to point. Don't keep drawing the line, simply press escape on the keyboard. Now you want the 3-point arc, so click on it. We start the arc in the corner where we finished our line, so click once. We bring our cursor down to the front edge of the step. At this stage, it doesn't matter where along this edge you click. And one more click. Now, what we want to try and do is get that little tangent icon to appear, and it'll glow that straight line orange. So click it. The dimension tool is the last part of this sketch, so we need to dimension from this edge of the step to the point here, and we set that at 20, and it will adjust. Let's close that sketch. Now rotate your view so you're looking underneath the step. We're actually going to do an identical thing at the bottom of the step. So we click sketch, select the bottom of the step, line tool, draw one little line from point to point here, click and click, escape to end that line. 3-point arc, so it starts in that corner, so click once, come down to the bottom edge. Don't worry if the arc's facing the wrong way, because where you move your cursor for the next click determines which way it goes. Make sure we get the tangent icon again before you click. Dimension tool, same thing, 20 millimeters from the edge to the point. 20. Press enter. That sketch is complete now. So the marking out was the hardest part of that procedure. If you need to, Control Z back and try again. Along the top toolbars, you're going to look for the Loft tool, L-O-F-T. Once you find that, basically we click on our two sketches, the shapes of our two sketches that we just drew. So the top of the step, we click on that sketch, rotate so we can see underneath, and click on the similar shape underneath the sketch. It gives us that preview, but we need to do a remove, so it removes material. So make sure you select remove. Now it looks better, and tick. Alright, we need to do the same thing on the opposite end. However, we can use that mirror tool. Remember, we've still got that mirror plane up here, so it'll work even though it seems a long way away from here. So we're going to mirror. This time we're not doing a part mirror, so change that to feature. Now the feature to mirror is the Loft, so go over to your browser over here, find the Loft that you just did and simply click on it. It's going to ask for the mirror plane again, so find plane 1. The other thing we could do is look for it in the browser, so we could click plane 1 over here. We should get a preview down here. It's going to do the right thing, and tick. Alright, these steps have a rounded front. We do that with the router in the classroom. On Onshape we can use a thing called a fillet. So look for the fillet tool. It's up here. Simply click it, entities to fillet, and we simply click. Make sure you select the edge, the top edge, not a face. So click an edge. If you select the wrong thing, up here in the dialog, if you click the X, it'll deselect, which allows you to select again. Tangent, propagation, radius, circular, they're the options that are ticked there. And we change the size to 10. Press enter, have a look at it. Looks pretty good, so tick. There's our first step. So I would rename that. So I'll simply call it step 1. Now we need 2 more steps. So again, we don't have to draw each one individually, we can simply copy. So in our parts list down here, right click on step 1 and select copy. We get this dialog up here. We need to change the option to translate by distance. In the direction box here, so we select the direction box and simply click on one of the edges of your step ladder. So hopefully you can see where I'm selecting. Select that edge. It's starting to copy our part, however it needs to be further up. Make sure copy part is ticked up here. I think we can simply type 235 there. Oh, that's going the wrong way. That moved down. Do you remember what to do if it's going in the opposite, wrong direction? Change the direction with that arrow. There we go, perfect. And tick. I'll rename that now. Step 2. Now we're going to copy step 2 to make step 3. So right click, copy, translate by distance. In the direction dialog, click that edge of that one of your steps. Change the size to 235. the direction's wrong again, so opposite direction arrow, and there it places it correctly up there, and we can tick. That completes the front steps of our step ladder. The only thing we don't need now is that plane, so in our browser over here we simply hide it. We'll actually use that again later. But that's the end of this video. Next video we'll do the back legs.